Hello, how are you all doing? My name is Frank Miranda. I'm an artist like you, and I'm going to attempt to record this drawing of this figure, Batman from the animated series, a show that I liked a lot when I was younger, and I still do. I think it's one of the nicest drawings of Batman that are out there. It's very Art Deco-y, so let's begin. So when you're starting this drawing, whether you're just want to see how far you can get Batman going, or if you want to really try to really do this well, so a couple of things that you got to try to do. You got to try to make sure. A mistake that a lot of artists do is they'll slant their drawing. Something happens and it's distorted because you don't really start with the end in mind of what you want it to look like. So first thing is I'm going to put a square where Batman fits in. So more or less I got to figure out where he's going to fit in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pencil to measure. So I see my pencil goes up to here, up to his knee from the top of his little horns. And then it goes down a little bit more. And, it's about half, a pencil and a half for this particular size is what we're going to be using. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little line up here. I mean, I could actually just transfer it across, but since you don't have a reference, I'm going to do it like this. So I'm going to put a pencil down, okay? And then I remember it was about a pencil and a half, so it was a little bit less. So let's see. I'm going to mark it there, and then I'm going to go to my line right here. I'm going to turn my pencil. And I got the marks right there, the top and the bottom of Batman. So I know that that's, when it comes to measuring, you only have two measurements. You have height and you have width. Everything else it's all part of that. So as long as you're focusing on that, you're fine. Let's see here. This Batman is almost exactly the width of my pencil. It's a little bit shy of a full pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and mark here. And that's his cape, his farthest point. And I'm going to put the pencil down over here, and I'm going to mark a little bit inside because he's not quite the full. So we know that if we fit Batman in here, if we get the space, we know that we can get him in here. So that's the first thing. So that's like an envelope. They call it the envelope, making sure that you make a space where it's going to fit in. You make the rules. Rules are necessary. Even though you're a very free and relaxed artist, rules are a little bit necessary if you want it, especially if you're trying to capture a likeness for it to look like somebody. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what the very center of Batman is, what the very center is. And I went ahead and did that. And I know that there's a line that goes right. The center of Batman is right behind his leg right here, up to almost like the middle of his horn right here. So I'm going to put a center line right there. That's my center line so I can measure off. Notice I'm doing it very lightly. I hope you can see it. I do this in red pencil because if I want to make a photocopy of this, the red doesn't come out. And then I'll use the blue pencil to fix exactly what I want, to put in the final thing, and then I'll ink it. But this is what we use. This is a trick, so it's very light and you really can't see it. And it actually looks kind of nice, I think, when you see construction lines. So let's see. How many heads tall is Batman? The average person is about 6 heads tall. That means if you were to measure the head like this, and you stacked one on top of the other, it's a little morbid. You would see that the average human being, not guys like The Rock or like Hulk Hogan or these football players and basketball players like LeBron James, those guys are superhuman sizes. They're very big and their head stays small, and that's what's happening here. They have an average size head, but they have a larger than life body. And so superheroes, or people that are very big and look very athletic, they have that. So let's measure Batman. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and measure with my finger. So there's 1 head, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads, 5 heads, 6, 7. So Batman is 7 heads tall. And that's, like I told you, that was more than and if you add the last leg here to the bottom here, it would be almost 8 heads tall. But it's really, we're going to go to here. So he's 7 heads tall. So that's to show you that's why he looks like a superhero, because of the size. His head is smaller than average. If you tried to make a costume like this, you'd need a LeBron James or a Rock to actually look like that. I definitely wouldn't look like that. I'm not very tall. So, all right. So let's see. what I see, the strong shapes that I see here when I'm going to start, I've got my middle line right here, okay? I also need the very center. What's the very center of Batman? And I can tell you that in this way, it's really anatomically correct. The center of Batman, if you measure from the top of his head, is about right above where his legs end here, in the pubic area here, in the bottom of his shorts. That's the center of Batman, and that's the center of most human beings. So they got that right, you know. He's average in that sense. So let's see. I'm going to measure here the top of Batman. I'm going there, and I'm going to go from there to the bottom. And that's about right. So I'm going to just get that. See how I got my pen right here, my pencil? And I'm going to mark that. And that's an important measurement because I want to know what the center of Batman is. Because that center is going to let me know. See the hands here? It lets me know that the hands, the wrists are actually right at that line. His hands are below it. I know where his shorts are. So let's begin. Let's see. So we got our center line right here on Batman. We've got our dividing line right here. So let's begin. I see a big circle right here. I see a big circle right here. And it's in the middle from here to here. It's a little bit higher than the middle, a big circle. So I'm gonna go about there, and I'm gonna do this big circle. Now let's see how wide that circle is, because that's important. And that circle is a little bit wider than half of this. So I'm going to go ahead and see. It's going to be about that big. See, the circle's going to be about that big. So I'm going to do the circle, and it's sideways. It looks like a big egg, like a jelly bean, right? Like that. So we're going to put that there. And that's going to be Batman's chest area, most of his torso. And then I see this strong line here. See this right here? I see this very strong line here. So I'm going to go ahead and find more or less the distance, see, from the center line here to that tip toe of his foot. And I'm going to put that down right there, see? See how I'm measuring with my fingers here? And it's the same measurement, see? So I'm going to do that. And then I'm not going to be too worried about this. I'm just trying to get the idea of what Batman looks like. So I'm going to do this swerving line like this. This is a very important line. And this is this line right here. It's his leg. It's really that simple. Maybe a little bit of a curve, but not too much. That's fine. All right. Let's see what else we can put down. Oh, we can know this leg here. This leg here. Let's measure from the front here like this. And again, you can stop this video whenever you want and take a look at what I'm doing. And you can look at it as many times as you like. Now, this is the bottom of this foot here. Notice it's a little bit higher than this one. That's why I did it up here. And it's right in front of, right next to this line. And this is my line. So the heel is going to be about there. And so let's do something. Let's get his belt. Let's mark his belt because we know where the belt more or less is, and the belt is right below this circle. See this circle right here? The belt is right there. So we know that the belt starts right over here. So we're going to do a line next to this line right here, and we're going to go below this belt here. More or less figuring that it's about 2 pencils, a pencil and a half to 2 pencils thick, that belt. So we're looking here, and it's about that. And we notice that the belt stops right at this swervy line that we did. So I'm going to stop that belt right there too. Again, not perfect. It's not exact, but it works, and it's going to look like them. It's going to look great. So we got the swervy line. Let's do something. Let's put this leg in right here. Okay, let's put this leg in. We have enough information there. How low does it go, this leg, from the center? Well, let's see. We can measure the knee. Let's find the knee there. And look how I'm pinching it. Right there, I'm marking it. Or you can just guess. I mean, you can just guess. It's about maybe 2 fingers, 2.5 fingers. So we can use 2 fingers too. We can do that. We're going to do a little line there. That's where the knee goes. And let's go straight from the belt. Straight from the belt. And right up to like the little bit past the middle. We're going to do a big circle. It's going to look like the tip of an ice cream, like of a popsicle. All right, so we're going to do that like a popsicle right here. We're going to come in to there, to the knee, and then we're going to come straight up like a popsicle. Okay, did that. Very good. And then there's no easier way to do this than this. You see this other leg? It's very hard to find this shape. It's hard because it's got to be very, very smooth. So what I do is I follow this line and I curve it. I do like an S. See, like an S, yeah, sort of. It's like a double curve. So I'm going to do that here too. And notice it touches and then it comes back in at the heel. So I'm going to do that too. I'm going to come here. I'm going to swerve, touch here. And then I'm going to come down to the heel. See, like that, like that. See? And you know, now we just finish it. We're going to join this. We're going to join this here. We had done this here. We're going to join this. We're going to join it right there. And then the front is just a line that comes straight down and then bumps to the ankle. Let's see, the ankle is about that much there. See the ankle. So we're going to come out right from this knee joint, come straight down and curve to the ankle. And then the foot is funny because it looks like a foot, but it's really just like a triangle. So we'll just sort of put it there like that. That's the, and look at that. I came up with the foot. Let's see. Let's try this other foot, this other leg. Again, it's like the tip of a popsicle. Okay. Like the tip of a popsicle. This goes to the center here, so we're going to do that to the center here. And let's see, the knee looks like it's at about the same spot, so we can use this same line we did. We're going to come here. And we're going to come out here. And it's like the tip of a popsicle. See that? It's like the tip of a popsicle. Now this line here, believe it or not, is pretty straight. So now what we got to do is we got to do the outside of this leg here. And that's going to give us the whole shape. There's no bump in here. This is really a straight line. It's a straight line. We're not going to mess with that. So we're going to do like we can do a circle here and bring it down, or we can do like another popsicle. Let's do another popsicle. That works. Let's do this like this. Another popsicle. Bring it down to the ankle. See that? And then the foot, really at the end, is we don't want to get out of this envelope we made. It's really a triangle. It's like it's not a triangle. It's not really a triangle. It's like a weird shape, but the bottom is a triangle, and then you bring it up to the ankle, and then you bring this up to the ankle. Let's make that a little bit thinner. And let's get this out of the way already. Let's just join that. And that looks very good. I think that's acceptable. All right, now let's get excited. Let's make this thing look like Batman, because the more it looks like Batman, the more exciting we're going to get. So let's see. We did this circle, and it was an idea of where things go. But if you look, this circle right here is supposed to be his shoulder. But if we went down, we really didn't. We really went past where we wanted to. So we're going to go back a little bit. We're going to go to this spot here. This spot right here, and we're going to come up. And that's really, we're going to fix our circles. We're going to fix it. See that? You're constantly, as an artist, you never get it perfectly right. You always are fixing, and it doesn't have to be right. It just has to, you have to be excited and enjoy it. We know the wrist is right here at this line that we discussed at the beginning. So let's do a line pointing from the knee. See this line from the knee up? Let's do that from the knee up. Let's do that line like that. And that looks pretty good. I'm looking at this shape here. You see this shape in here? I'm looking at that. And that's pretty good. Now let's see this outside line where we went from the outside. This is, I'm going to do this like a curve, and then I'll do this. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to do a perfect curve there. And notice if I put my wrist down and I turn my whole arm, it's going to be a pretty smooth curve. And so I'm going to pick where I want here. I think the wrist is going to be about that fat, about that thick. And then I want to come up to here, and I want to come up to there. So I'm lining up my wrist, and notice how I'm moving my whole arm. And when I'm satisfied, I come up, and guess what? That's not so bad. That's not so bad. That's pretty good. There we go. The hands, you know, the hands, people talk about the hands. We're going to do that now. Let's do this other arm over here. This is really, all I see here is a triangle. I see a triangle. See this here? So it's two lines meeting there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to notice that my point that I'm meeting is a little bit farther from the leg. So I'm going to figure out that point right here, right? And then I'm going to put an angle. I'm going to steal this angle like this. I'm going to put my pencil like this. See that? And I can actually bring it over, transfer it over, and put it where more or less where it goes, right there. And then I just stand it up and I come down. I took that, see, and now this is another angle here, and I bring it over like this, put it on the I'm putting my pencil on the line, and then I bring it back. And guess what? There's my triangle shape. Sometimes it's harder in different places, but it works the same. It's not that hard. It's another tool you have in your toolbox for drawing. So let's go ahead and do this hand now. And what I really see here is I see a square. See that? I see a square. Then I'm gonna add a little triangle here and a little square there, but it's really a square. Let's see. I'm gonna do a square. Square's at a little bit of an angle, like that. And I know that doesn't look like a hand, but guess what? I'm gonna put this little triangle right here at the end. And then I'm gonna put these little knuckles here that are really like a little square. And wow, in a second, look at that. We've got a hand that looks pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that hand. All right. Then we're going to do the same thing over here. This is a square. I see a square here. See, a square. And they just cut off this little notch. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing, because if this is a master artist, this is Timm drawing this, the artist that did this, inspired this. And if that's good for him, it's good enough for me. I mean, he really knows what he's doing here. So I'm going to draw a square. Look at that. I'm going to draw a square. And then I'm going to knock off this little edge. And then I'm going to smooth these lines out a little bit. Look at this. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit. And man, look at that. Just like that. I mean, I'm very happy with that. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, let's do the torso now, and let's do the head. So I'm happy with this circle line here. It's pretty good. I like that. Let's do this line right here. This is his ribs, right? And now this is important. I'm going to do this. I'm going to come this way. And there's people that say, well, how do I, these bumps here, how do I figure this out? What are this? Well, you got to know a little bit about the muscles. You got to know. Some muscles are emphasized here and some are not. But what you're seeing here is his rib cage. This is his chest muscles. This is the line that shows the bottom. And this is the other side of that chest muscle. This is showing you his pectorals, his chest muscles. And this is his rib cage. And what this looks like, if you could see through him, if you were Superman and you could see through him, this is what you'd be seeing. This is his rib cage. And it comes down here like this. And it comes up like this. See? This is his rib cage. Right here. And so this bump corresponds to this. So that's why they're at the same height, more or less. And we're going to do that now. We're going to do the rib cage here. See that? And now here, we're going to do the pectoral right here. Notice this is a little bit lower, this shoulder than that shoulder. So we're at the shoulder here. We're going to go a little lower. This pectoral muscle is at the arm. So we're at the right place here. Let's see, it's past the legs, so we know we're good here. And then we're going to come in. We're going to put his rib there, floating rib. And then we're going to come back down. We're going to put the other rib next to there. See that? See our reference there, how it worked? Very good. You got information there that we brought that wasn't being shown. So that's his chest muscle there. Let's figure out where to put the head. Now this is really tricky because we got all this space up here. We'll put it in the wrong place. It's going to look awkward. Again, using our center line. Let's see. Well, we know his head is, his ear's right on it. So this is a little bit behind our center line. This is the top and this is the bottom. So let's go ahead and do and this is kind of like a curve. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to do a curve right behind there like that. I'm not very happy with that curve, but I can always fix that later. Curve. And his little horn is more or less coming out of there. And so we know that where that line is, the horn and the roundness of his head figures there. So let's see. Let's find his chin. So his chin is a little bit, it's about a pencil. It's about a pencil above his shoulder. So if we put a pencil above his shoulder, well, then we're talking about here. That's his chin, very soft. I put that like that. All right. And if we lined up his other side of his face down to his leg, we would see that it's lined up with his knee. So if we go up with this knee, and I can tell you right now that that's wrong. I didn't do that right. It's a little bit less. Let's line it up with the rest of his body. Well, it sort of lines up with the center of his belt. So So let's go to the center of his belt right here. And again, that's not lined up right. So I had a technical difficulty here with the camera, and I went ahead and did this part of the head, but that's not a problem because I'm going to cover it and I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to go ahead and cover this part again. We're going to do it again. I'll show you. So remember, when we started, we had said that this center line is very important. The ear is this curved line, the back of his head, and it goes right in front of this line. So we're going to finish this center line, take it up. The top of our drawing is up here. So we're going to go ahead and do this curved line right in front of there. Just like that. See? Just like that. That's okay. And we're going to bring that little ear down, or bring that ear right to this line. And bring it right to that line right there. We have to find the chin. The chin, if you look at the chin, this chin here is about a pencil width above the shoulder. See this shoulder here? If you measure the thickness of a space, it's about a, see that? It's about a shoulder. It's about a pencil thick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm going to go to that shoulder and I'm going to see, okay, so it's going to be about there. That's the chin right there. And now I got to see how to figure this distance out. Now, I know that my drawing's a little bit off, so I don't feel comfortable going off of anything else to reference it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a measurement. I'm just going to go ahead and take a measurement with my pencil. Right there, I'm going to take a measurement. That's that from my thumb to that tip is where it is. And I'm looking here and I see where it is. It's about here. So that's where it's going to be. And now I know I can go off the top here, and I'm going to do this little curve all the way down here to the chin. I'm going to come all the way from up here, all the way down, and it's like a curve. Kind of looks like Boba Fett. Look at that. It looks like Boba Fett. But this is not a Star Wars tutorial. That'll come soon. This is just, this is not just Batman. It's Batman. Look at this space between these ears. Look at this. We're a little bit off here, but that's okay. We're going to do that space. We're going to put that back ear in. It's a little bit smaller than the front ear, okay? It's a little bit smaller. That's how we know it's back there. And then we're going to do the chin, the neck. See this distance here? We're going to try to figure that out, this distance here, and we're going to come down with the neck. And so we're good there. We're right where we were at. See, we're right where we were at. So let's continue with that now. Notice this is a V. His cape is a V coming down under his chin. So we're gonna find that space under. It's right about where the neck is. So I'm gonna come down where the neck is right here. That is about the same height as this shoulder. So I'm actually gotta go a little lower there. And it shoots out, not quite to out here, it shoots out right next to this line of his stomach. So I'm going to mark that, see how I'm going up here? And that's my reference, and I'm going to go straight from there to there, like that. And then this point is a little bit above the shoulder, but not on this outside line. It's actually on the inside of the wrist. So I'm going to come on the inside of the wrist, and I'm going to mark that. It's a little bit above, and again, I'm going to go a little bit above, and I'm going to do a straight line. Try to do straight lines whenever you can. Okay? So that's pretty much, that's the shape. He's there. See, I'm going to bring this little line down. It's behind him. That's the cape coming down. This is the cape coming down a little bit outside of his arm. Right there. I know there's a couple of little housekeeping issues. The face is the hardest part of Batman. I'm not going to lie to you. There's tutorials that I'm going to post just doing his face. It's so simple that's why it's so hard, because if you don't get something right, it doesn't look right. But, and the eyes is the hardest part of the face. The way you can tell what Batman is thinking or how he's feeling, actually, his emotions, is his eyes. And so I'm going to try to get it down here. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't always get it either. But let's finish some stuff, some housekeeping stuff. Let's see. So this dimple here, which is his elbow, that's a little bit above his belt. See, if I draw a line like that, it's a little bit above his belt. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go above his belt, and I'm going to go around. So that's where that pinch has to be. So I'm just going to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in a little bit, and I'm going to go in, And then I'm gonna go out and go back to the wrist. That's okay. I went a little bit too far out, but that's fine. When we ink that, that'll look fine. Same thing over here. This is a little bit above. It's a little bit lower, but it's a little bit above the belt. And I'm gonna mark that. And we're just gonna do the bicep. That's this big, strong muscle. And then this curves out and comes back in. Okay, and this curves. So it's very subtle. Even if you don't do that, it wouldn't matter. At this point, it's constructed well. Once you ink this, it's going to look great. The shape is more or less right. It's going to look spectacular. So let's see. Let's do some things. Let's do the face here. Notice that I have this line on the chin marked and it goes all the way out. It doesn't do that. It actually comes back up because this is the overhang of his chin. So I'm going to go ahead and put this line down first because it's already there. It's right on the center line. I'm going to mark that right there. And then around where this horn is at, he's got the break of his chin. And notice this comes up. This is not a straight line. It comes up. So we're going to go down this little horn right here. We're going to come down, make a little line there. And we're going to do a little angle right there. That's the side of his jaw. And his jaw's there. And I'm going to curve that just a little bit, but not really. You can even keep it straight. That's fine. We're going to find his nose. His nose is in the center of his head. For humans, the eyes are in the center of your head, but this is superhuman. His jawline is real big. So his nose is in the center of his head. So we're going to try to find the center of this right here, which I find that to be like around there. And that's his nose. And his nose is almost at the edge of his face. So it's not here. It's at the edge here. So that's his nose right there. And it's really just a matter of putting a line up here as a V. And then this one that we did here, we put a V. It's a little more curved than a V, but you can see that on the reference at the beginning. You should get the picture that I put at the beginning of this video, and you should print it if you have a printer. If you don't, you can put it on an iPad next to yourself as you're looking on the phone. So you can also have a way to measure. It's very important. So this is his nose. There it is, his nose and the cowl. His eye, this is his eyebrow. I'm going to bring it closer so you can see it. This right here is his eyebrow. And this is his cheekbone. Notice that it stops there, it sticks out just a little bit. It comes straight down and it comes out to his cheekbone. We have to get that. That's very important. So we're gonna come down here. We're gonna come straight down and pinch out like that. That's very important. And then now we're going to do the eyes. Brace yourself. This is the hardest part. I'm going to see if I can get a little closer so you all could see it. So just be patient with me. There we go. Let's see how we can get this a little closer so you can see it. All right, here we go. So always looking at my reference. Now what I see here is I see a V. I see a V that comes up from up here and it comes across. So I'm going to do that V. And the V actually doesn't stop above the nose. It stops. See the eye, that first eye, it's above the nose. Where the tear duct, where the tears come from, and the inside there, that's right above the nose. This is actually a little bit farther set. And that's really important because a lot of people get that wrong. So let's do our little line here. And we're going to come down from the, we're going to come down right here from the, more or less from where the eyebrow is. And we're going to come down here. Okay. So what we did is we just did a little triangle there. And then the other one is a little bit, remember it's a V. So we're doing a V and we're doing a V from the top here. It comes actually from the ear. So we're coming from the ear. And then we give it a little space in between and we come, and notice I'm doing it very soft. I don't want to commit yet. I actually got that angle wrong. It's actually flatter. It's actually like this. It's flatter. See, it's very easy. And then it doesn't quite come up to the ear. So it's like that. That's okay. That's not a bad ear, a bad eye. All right, and then the mouth is not between the nose, not in the center between the nose and the chin. It's actually a little bit higher. So I'm gonna find that center there. I'm gonna go a little higher. And notice that it almost starts under the nose. It's not straight, it's not centered under the nose. It starts, this side starts almost under the nose and goes over to the center of this eye. So I'm gonna come here to this here, and I'm gonna do that. See that? I started under the nose more or less. And then under the eye, you also got this frown line here. Because he's, you know, Batman's been through some stuff and he's not a very happy dude. He's a good guy, but he doesn't feel happy. And so I'm gonna come back up. Give me just a second. Let's go back up and finish this up. Okay, so we are having to go a little higher. There we go. That's better. So let's finish this up. Again, remember that skill that I told you about using your arm to make the sweeping? We're going to do that here now. See this cape right here? See this inside line? And you see this outside line? Look how I'm doing with my arm. I'm going to figure out, this is touching. Remember when we measured at the beginning, this cape has to touch right here. And this is lined up with like his knees. So we can come up here, and that's more or less where the cape is going to be at. The back of this cape, it continues down a little further. So I'm going to line up from this point to this point with my arm. I'm going to sort of line up. I'm going to line up. See how I'm doing with my whole arm? I'm moving my whole arm. And when I feel happy with it, I'm satisfied, I come straight down like that. Come straight down like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing. This is a little bit in, and it comes almost to the ankle. So I'm going to try to figure this out. That doesn't have to be perfect. It's at the ankle right here, and this is it. So I know that this is going to connect from this point here in the knees. So I'm going to do my line there like that. And now I got to line it up with the inside. I got to line this up with the inside. Let me see if I can get it done. That looks good. Nope. That looks good. And here we go. There we go. See? That's not bad. Right there. I'm happy with that. Now, the inside here, this part of the cape, we're going to just sort of freehand it from the inside of the thigh. And it does like a little swoop, like a little S. So I'm just going to do very soft. Like that. It's very soft. It has another one on top. Very soft. It's not perfect. It's actually wrong. I can tell it's wrong, but it's going to work because it's, you know, it's just the cape. It can fly in many different ways. The tips, this tip actually is lower because it's coming closer to you. These are higher. They're going like at the middle of here. So I'm just going to do like a line. I'm going to do like a curving line as a reference. And then I just see how many tips I have. I have one tip there. So I'm going to go like this, starting from the top. I have one tip there, see? I have two tips here. Two tips here. So I'm going to just mark that like that. And I have 1, 2, 3 tips, and the last one 4. So more or less. 1, 2. You don't even have to do them all. See, look, I did one less. Look, I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1, 2, 3. So you don't even have to do them all. That's fine. You know, that's fine. If you're a perfectionist, we can do it. I mean, we can do it like this. See, so we can do that. And when we darken it now, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference. So that's sort of the truth is, I really, from here, I didn't go far enough. See. I could have done this over here, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You got the, this is Batman, you know? You know, sometimes the cape breaks. So almost to the top of his knee, to the bottom of his knee, there is this thing. But notice, this comes from all the way down here, his boot. And it comes up to here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that from up here. I'm going to come up to there, and I'm going to go down to the boot here. And then here, this one is the same. It's a little higher than the other one. It's a little higher. It's going to end like around here. So I come in from here. More or less, I see the size here. I come in from there. I see it's a little bit lower. It goes in a little bit lower. So I'm going to do that a little bit lower. It's trying to give it some shape. This thing I mean, I'm going to go ahead and fix this here because I'm not very happy with it, but it would have looked fine if we inked it. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's in, Batman maybe is in, Batman's also been eating a lot because he's been home a lot, so he's eating. So we got the boots marked there. We got the gloves, more or less, let's see. A little bit below the elbow. I'm going to do that line right there. It's a straight line. And of course, we can't forget these little things. People love to put these on. I love to put them on. More or less, we put them on like this. More or less. This one, you can't see them because they're actually back there, but we see the glove line. It's below the belt, and we're going to do that. It's just an angle like that. That's all it is. Not any more detail than that. And let's do the shorts. The shorts start down here, but they don't start down here. They start a little bit higher. So we're going to come to this point where this is meeting, and we're going to go a little higher like this. And that's where the shorts are going to start. And it's a circle around here because it's wrapping around his leg because they're tight. So we're going to do a half circle. See, I didn't get that right, but it doesn't matter. I can fix it. Doesn't matter. There it is. And then this thing doesn't go straight line. This actually curves like an S. And it's at the same line at the top of his thigh here. So I can get a line there. I know it's going to be there. And then I just curve it a little bit. Put my line down. I'm committed to that line. And so that's pretty much it there. Let's see. The cape is on. He's got the, oh, we're missing the little things around the belt. So he's got like a little, it's just two little lines. If you're not good at doing loops, you can just do two little lines. See, that's there. The other one is almost in the center. We're going to go to the center here. We do two lines just like this. We can fix the ends later. And then this one is over here at the mid-thigh. So we go to the mid-thigh over here. And we put them there. It's like two lines. One thing left here is the pectoral muscles. Let's see, we follow this pectoral muscle here in the center here like this. See, it's following, and then it comes over and it comes here. And that's exactly what you're seeing here. The pectoral muscle coming over here, lining up. Perfect. This is there. And the circle. You know, it's an oval. So you do your best. I do a half a circle here, real light, real light. If that looks good, then I just keep on and keep on. And when that looks good, I pick the line that I want to keep. It's sort of sticking under the cape a little bit. You know, it's not just in the middle of his chest. And the bat sign, what I do is I make the top of the wings like this, right? And then I do the two little sides. And then I make like a line, a straight line like that. See that? And then I put a line in the middle. Just a line, and then I put two little lines on top like this, and then I make the head. I put little angles on this, and now I'm just missing these little sticks, so I put little sticks where I want them, like this. I put little sticks where I want them, and then I just sort of make little angles on them. Very, very subtle. You can even leave the sticks. It looks like it. And see, it's the bat signal. See. So I'm going to go ahead and one last thing. There's reflection lines here, which is the reflections, these little white areas that are not inked in. And again, the way I just do that is I more or less get the shape where it goes and I put it. Here in the head here, it says shape. Here in the arm, it's sort of the outside here. And it comes here. And you just a little attention to detail. This is going to be dark. You know, this is light. Here it's on the inside, it's dark. He has notice I have a little ball here like that. They have like the inside of his fingers here, and then here on the other side. So you don't have to actually paint the space. You just paint the shapes on the outsides, and the white space in the middle will stay there, you know. And the boots is the same thing. It's really a line. I'm going to paint the outside of this boot here. I'm going to paint the inside of this boot here and more or less get the shape. It's just a reflection. See, I'm painting the dark. I'm not worried about the white. I'm worried about the dark. Look at the dark. The dark goes on the inside here, and I can keep on getting closer. If I'm not close enough, I can keep on filling it in until I'm happy. Getting the white space is a lot harder than filling in the black space there. And then on the bottom, there's like a bump. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to record this video very fast. I'm going to ink it, and I'm inking it with a marker because I know you guys don't have ink, and I can't find my ink right now. But I'm going to ink it with a marker, and then you can see what you like. But remember, always have your reference on the side, even if you have it on an iPad visually. And I hope you enjoy this video. Stop whenever you don't understand something and go back a second. I'll be doing tutorials online. You'll probably be able to find me under the Grateful Artist. But go ahead and and try this and enjoy. This is Batman. I love Batman. I'm sure you love Batman too. It's going to be very enjoyable. And have a great afternoon and be safe.